Hello and welcome to Motorcycle News, and welcome to the series where we talk to members of staff here at MCN about the bikes that they actually buy. And today in the hot seat is Adam and his Triumph Tiger 955i. So Adam, fresh face on the YouTube channel for MCN. Thanks very much for joining me today.
That's right, thanks for having me.
And for talking us through your Triumph. Now, I've seen this for a long time, and obviously I know you very well, but the guys watching today probably don't know an awful lot about what you get up to and the bike. So why don't you introduce yourself first and tell us about your steed?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Adam Oldfield, digital reviews editor, and I look after the MCN website, all the digital reviews, and all the data on the bikes that you can freely browse and check out on the website.
Nice one. And your bike then, so give us a little flavour of what you bought in.
Yeah, so it's Triumph Tiger 955i. It's 21 years old. She's a bit of a workhorse, and I mainly bought her for that really. I was commuting a lot for work, and she needed to be able to do the miles and keep me in comfort and relative protection through the winter.
Nice one. So I've actually got a bit of a soft spot for these because back when I was a kid, my next door neighbour had one of these. He had it in the lime green.
Yes. Apparently that one's faster as well.
Yeah, apparently. But whenever I think of Tigers now, that's what I think of. I think of those two round headlights.
Yeah.
I think of these stripes on the side, and it's almost what I associate with adventure biking. And so you know, when I first saw this bike in the car park, probably about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, about that.
I just sort of brought back loads of really nice memories for me, and it's been a constant here ever since because, you know, come rain or shine, you're out of this, aren't you? Yeah,
definitely. So I commute up to the office here at Peterborough. I'm from originally Wales, but most recently from Wiltshire, so it's about 120, 130 miles.
Nice gentle commute.
Yeah, nice commute, easy. And she does really well. It's a bit of a grower for me. I initially didn't instantly fall in love with it. It was a bit of a tool and a means to just commuting. But the more miles I put on her, the more reliable she is, the more I kind of fall in love with her. So I got her at 9,000 miles. She's on about 21,000 miles now, and I haven't had any major incidents. So just a few gremlins chasing her.
Good, well, touch wood.
Yeah.
We don't have any of them. But this is an adventure bike. You say it's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking how much you paid for it?
£1,700, just thereabouts.
Oh, it's an awful lot of bike for not a lot of money, isn't it, really?
Yeah. I think it's a bit, I'm not sure, I think it's a bit Marmite. They're like the early, I guess they're the early traily sort of like monster bikes.
Exactly.
You didn't have much choice, did you? Like sort of like back in the 1150 GS, the Varadero, wasn't it? The Honda, and I think Aprilia had that ETV cap and all thing.
Yeah.
But this one, I had the GS before, the 1150, and did loads of miles on that. It was great, but it was that much heavier than this, and I thought just for ease of getting around the garage and something different, go for the Tiger.
You just touched on your GS there.
Yeah.
You've had quite an eclectic mix of bikes. I've seen pictures of you in one-piece suits next to Kawasaki 6, but you've had things like Harleys as well. So just give us a flavour of, you know, your biking background.
It's definitely eclectic. So I started riding bikes when we were kids, and we had like access to like fields and messing around, that sort of stuff. But I really started riding bikes in my early 20s when I started working at a place called Fruxton Motorsport, and the gents there in the garage, particularly one of them, Andy, he had a Suzuki GS FAL, and that was on the bench, and that he was customising, and I was like, that's great, I want some of that. It fits into my single garage, I can customise and have my own little project. And so I instantly went into the Harley route with the customisation. First bike, did my test, went and got a Harley, and it kind of fitted the scene I was in at the time, playing in an 80s band. Had long hair, believe it or not, bit of a perm. Harley obviously made sense. Obviously when I started riding and pushing on and wanted a bit more speed, wanted a bit more handling, wanted to go touring, I then started looking into other bikes. 1150 GS, took around Europe and that, and just really got comfortable on adventure bikes. That's really versatile. Nice,
brilliant stuff. And I suppose it's kind of the perfect thing for someone that rides all the time. Obviously you've got the box on the back and big old screen as well. You know, I've heard lots about this screen. For the viewers watching, Adam was in a bidding war on eBay for this screen because they don't really make many bits for this anymore, do they?
Yeah, I think everything ends up a bidding war for these at the moment. They're on that sort of like cusp of where certain parts are becoming quite rare, like like hen's teeth to sort of like find and that.
Nice recovery.
And the screen particularly is C. Bailey's sort of like aircraft plastic screen, and it's just a little bit wider than the standard one, and that for me just helps with a little bit more buffeting really.
Yeah,
just pushes it over.
really thick, isn't it?
Yeah, really thick. Yeah, I can understand the aircraft plastic sort of like background of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like handguards, the original handguards, I can't get hold of them. And the ones you do find are like maybe 40 quid and scratch and damage a piece.
Really?
So yeah, it
A
becomes a
piece?
little bit. Yeah, a piece.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm not, I'm not precious about it as long as it does the job sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly. It's got an aftermarket pipe, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hiding away.
It's got the Remus.
A Remus,
so,
yes, it sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
That motor, that's shared with other Triumphs at the
Yeah,
time, isn't
that's the shared one with the Daytona and the Speed Triple.
Nice.
So yeah, I think the Daytona Speed Triple, slightly different tune, slightly bit more brake horsepower.
Yeah.
And this one's about 104, claimed back in the day. Probably depreciated
Yeah.
quite a bit through
What's
time.
the bum dyno saying? What do you reckon?
Bum
these
dyno,
days?
yeah, it's probably still 104.
Yeah, of course, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyre-wise, I just use the Metzler Torrance tyres. I've used them on my GS, used them on this Tiger. Plenty of grip, and they last a while for the commuting. So yeah, dead happy with those. Don't tend to experiment, but if I'm going to go a little bit off-road, I might start looking at some adventure-biased tyres. It shifts along fine, it pulls well, I've got valve clearances on it, and yeah, it all looked really clean in there. Valve clearances are all within tolerance bar a couple, so change them out. Still sings fine, pulls me along fine. Yeah. We went 2 up recently to the Dragon Rally, so from Wiltshire to Conway, and yeah, pulled fine. Didn't hesitate at all.
So I'm judging then from the fact that you did your valve clearances that you do a lot of your own maintenance, is that fair?
Yeah, definitely. I like to throw my hand in and get involved with maintenance. I've got a background in sort of mechanics and motorsport engineering, so there's nothing I was too worried about getting stuck into. And mainly, it's been quite simple to work on. It's just chasing those 20-year-old gremlins. So
Yeah.
electrical faults, rubbing on the sheathing, breaking through, and you've just got to trace it round.
Yeah.
On these particularly, fuel sender, the fuel float in the tank kind of sticks, and then and the fuel gauge doesn't work. The quite common for the year, I think, is the regulator rectifier and the stator and issues and charging issues. But I've changed the wiring on that, better battery, and it's putting full charge back into the battery, and it seems to be going fine. Yeah,
nice.
I guess it's just your only villain in this is, I guess, the years of time and corrosion and things like that.
Yeah. But it still looks in good nick. I can't see that many third bolts and the motor and things like that.
Don't look too hard.
All right, okay.
Don't zoom in. Yeah, it does all right. It lives outside, and then very, very generous with the protection spray in the winter. Some people have had a go at things, trying to paint things, and paint's come off.
Yeah.
I'll get to it. It's just a long list, a revolving list of to-do jobs.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do that than let it go on the scrap heap or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to ask about the motor because it's shared with those other bikes. When you need parts for that bit of the bike, at least, is it easier to get hold of stuff? Or?
Yeah, it is decent. It's nice knowing that they are shared across the platforms. There's slight deviations in what you can get, but at the moment I've just been using some of the Triumph aftermarket sites, and I've got quite a lot of parts from there, like especially like shims and things and specific things. They've been in stock, so yeah, I was pretty lucky on that front.
You touched there on certain things that can go wrong on these.
Yeah.
From your own experience then, has there been any gremlins, anything that stopped play, things that have caused breakdowns?
Yeah, stop play, I kind of try and keep forcing it to keep moving, to be honest. Don't like to be stuck on the side, so I try and bodge it to keep going. But like the fuel sender went, I carried on, just used the trip like we used to on that. The main one that stopped play was figuring out the wiring from the regulator rectifier and the stator, and why what doesn't pump enough charge back to the battery.
Yeah.
And it's just basically to do with the way that it's wired and sort of the grading gauge of the wire.
Okay.
But that is well documented on the Tiger forums, and literally everything I've needed to find out, it's been already spoken about on the Tiger Facebook groups, and it's been like a wealth of knowledge there to use basically.
Oh, fab! So there's decent help.
Yeah, and these guys on the forums as well have taken these bikes up to 60,000 plus miles. So when I was looking for the commuters, I was like, okay, there's a fair few people that have taken them up high mileage, so I feel safe.
Brilliant.
Yeah, in the knowledge.
So loads of advice, but no bits.
Yeah. I think it's all the stuff that gets thrown around. Crash bars are hard to get hold of.
Yeah,
and handguards and things, but everything else not too bad.
So outside the screen then, have you done anything else to it whilst you've had it? Any mods or anything?
Not particularly. I've had to change sort of like vacuum hoses because they've degraded and sort of crumbled away, and then you're wondering why you're spluttering and things like that. Changed all those sort of bits. Yeah, I've done service of shocks and brakes and things like that, just out of peace of mind for checking, I guess.
Of course, yeah.
But nothing really taking it away from stock. Yeah, just get on, use it, just ride. Yeah.
That's what it's for. You know, it's a credit to you. I mean, I know you say, oh, there's a bit of, you know, it's a bit rough around the edges and stuff like that, but yeah, it's over 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's I just heard it come across the car park. Sounds brilliant. Soft spot for these from me. So maybe I'll have to prize the keys off you at some point and relive that part of my childhood.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice ride. The triple coming from the twin and the GS, and then sort of like reconfigure my ride to riding the triple.
Yeah.
Now I love it. Now I can get up and have it on song, and it's really nice, enjoyable ride. Keeps pulling away.
No plans then to replace it, just going to keep on using it?
Yeah, keep on using it. Unfortunately, I don't think they're really worth that much. I think they're worth more to the riders and keeping them going and keeping yourself on the road, which is a shame because they are getting to that sort of age where they're becoming a bit more distinct. But yeah, I'll just keep it going, keep it tidy as much as I can, and then just use it throughout the year.
Yeah, cracking stuff. Brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much for taking the time and showing us all around your bike. I really like it, and I think that the different colours on the frame and things add to the character.
Patina.
Exactly,
the
patina,
adventurised adventure bike.
Exactly. Yeah. But as I say, thank you so much, and I hope you've enjoyed this as well. If you have, then please remember to give us a like and a subscribe. And we've actually done tons of these already, from everything from my own classic 350 Royal Enfield to Honda RS125 sort of Grand Prix bikes and everything else in between. So if you've enjoyed this one, head into the channel and watch some more. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.